Mortgages. What up, what up, what up? How you doing, Dustin? Good to see you guys again. Hey guys, we're gonna jump right into it. We have about 20 minutes to do today's live, and then we have to film our podcast together. So this is our first time doing it. You guys are gonna help guide us through this. This isn't gonna be like the normal classes that we do, right? Most of you, 99% of you, just need to speak with a mortgage lender, get your loans in order, get your mortgages in order, get your numbers in order. So I brought Bill on the channel so we can literally cut out the middleman and you guys can speak to a mortgage lender already. So Bill, introduce yourself, let them know what it is that you do, how long you've been doing it, your expertise.
Bill Gaylord, CrossCountry Mortgage, Gaylord-Hansen team. Been doing this for 30 plus years. Prior to that, I had been a commercial real estate appraiser, been in real estate a long time, seen about every type of scenario, no judgment, understand how to get people in the homes. Personally, I bought and sold 25 personal residences, second homes, investment properties, got mortgages on all of them myself personally. So I understand the process, understand the fear, understand the stuff that goes into it, and so be happy to help get you into a home.
Perfect. See, guys, I told you we we're going to bring experts on this channel. So for those of you who actually want to learn, today is probably going to be one of the most informative episodes that we do. From now on Thursdays, Bill is going to join me. So we're going to run a normal class per usual, except for we're going to have an expert here, and the class is going to focus on loans. We're also going to start doing buyer consultations directly once per month. So get ready. We might finish one today with a buyer consultation. So
I think that'd be fun. I think we should.
I think we should
run some numbers, get some data in there, just so that they can kind of see when they go into a consult what they can expect.
What they can expect, 100%. So guys, from now on, we're going to do a buyer consultation. So I don't know how we're going to choose you guys. Let's choose someone who's actively in the market right now. That's how we're gonna finish it. So Bill, let's get started for him today on loans and mortgages, right? It's something that I often cover, but I keep it to a 101 basis where I go over FHA loans, conventional loans, VA loans, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
Out of all the loans out there right now, which one do you believe is currently the most valuable and why?
My opinion right now is taking away VA, which is the best loan out there, but you have to qualify being active duty military or veteran. FHA right now is the best loan out there. And the reason is interest rates are about 0.75% lower than a conventional mortgage, and mortgage insurance is usually less on FHA than it is on a conventional mortgage.
That's pretty crazy to hear, because for a while, what was steering people away from FHA was that the PMI or the mortgage insurance premium was so high.
Yes.
But what happened last year that caused that to shift?
So FHA, I think, just wanted to help more people because of the affordability and all the things that were going on. They lowered mortgage insurance from 0.85 down to 0.55. So it's essentially more than 0.25%. It's 0.3% lower in interest rate. And conventional is based off of FICO scores. So I've seen mortgage insurance as high as 1.7%,
which is crazy,
which is unbelievable. Yeah. So FHA has absolutely become an incredible loan when you look at interest rates and mortgage insurance.
Yeah. So someone said, can I get a different FHA loan every year? That's actually one of the big classes that we teach. We're not going to go fully into depth because that's an entire process. But the short-term answer is this. You can only get one FHA loan at a time because it's a primary residence loan, which means you have to live in the property for it to be the loan that you choose. It's like a VA loan. You have to live there, right? So you cannot take out a second FHA loan until you've refinanced your current FHA loan into an investment loan or a 20% down.
There's a 100-mile rule. So let's say you live in California right now. Let's say you own a home, it's FHA, and you move to Vegas. But, move to Vegas, they should move to Vegas. It's 100 miles away. So you could get a second FHA loan if it was your primary residence in Las Vegas.
Look at that. Repeat that again. I don't think people heard you. There's a 100-mile rule.
There's a 100-mile rule. So let's say you live in Los Angeles right now, and you were moving to Vegas. Brandon from Vegas, right? if you were to buy a home in Vegas as your primary residence, you could get another FHA loan and you could keep the house that you have in California if you want. Now, the flip side is if you live in Las Vegas now and have an FHA loan and you wanted to buy another house in Las Vegas with an FHA loan, you could not get another FHA loan because it doesn't meet the 100-mile requirement.
For some of you, Ryan, did you ever reach out to Bill? This is the guy I was talking about yesterday. Ryan, we did not get a call or text from you. I'm here with Bill right now, Ryan. So, Ryan, we're gonna put Bill's number on the screen at the end of class today. In fact, I sent him a text. Ryan, you must have texted the wrong number because he's right here and we didn't get a text from you. So, Ryan, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna do a buyer consultation for you at the end of class today. So stick around. What happens to the house in LA? Can you rent it out?
100%. Yes. Rent it out.
Are y'all hearing, my man? Are y'all hearing?
Rent it out.
The screen went dark. Oh, there we go. Fixed it. Okay. We're good. We're technological geniuses here.
Yeah. I think we just gotta, that's okay. Yep.
Yep, we fixed it.
Okay. Little delay.
Yeah. So what he's telling you guys is there's a 100-mile rule for FHA loans. So as long as you are buying the second house more than 100 miles away,
you can get an FHA. That kind of rhymes.
I know.
Did you hear that?
As long as you're buying 100 miles away, you can get that FHA. I'm telling you, we should make. I'm telling you that we're gonna make a whole video about that. We should make a whole. I'm gonna make a whole rap song about that, man. I'm telling you.
A rap song. Okay, good.
I need to make a whole rap song about that. Yeah, 100 miles from each other.
Yep.
Okay. So, as Bill said, the FHA loan is actually fantastic for a lot of buyers right now. Now, we're not going to pretend like the FHA loan is perfect. One of the things the FHA loan has is there's a limit on how high the FHA loan goes, and it's dependent on the median income of your county. So let me give you guys an example. In Las Vegas, the FHA loan goes up to about $500,000. Okay? Now, if you're in Marin County or the county surrounding San Francisco, the FHA loan is up to about $1.1 million. If you're in Los Angeles, the FHA loan is about $1.2 million. Why? Because the median income of San Francisco and LA are significantly higher than the median income of Las Vegas. So if you're someone struggling to buy in the using the FHA loan, and I know you guys don't want to hear this, but moving to a new county or a new city could change everything. You may be in, I know you guys don't like to hear this. You may be living in a city where the median income is higher than what you make. Again, I know you guys don't like to hear this part, but you need to hear it. If you're living in a city and you can't afford to buy a home there using the FHA loan, there's a good chance that the median income of that city is higher than what you make. You might need to move to a city where the median income is closer to what you make currently. All right? It's not that you guys have this idea that everyone's poor. No, people are making a ton of money, right? They are. It's just not you. Again, this stuff hurts to tell you guys, but it's true.
Well, I actually had someone reach out to me basically 2 days ago, and he talked to me, and he's a union worker, construction, super, super nice guy. Yeah. And he goes, Bill, and he makes a lot of money. I mean, it's well above what most people are making.
Sure.
And he goes, Bill, even if you make good money in California, it's not good enough.
No.
And so that's why he's actually looking to relocate here, come with the union, and actually buy a home, and a very nice home that he'll be able to afford.
His money will stretch here.
With a pool, with 3-4 bedrooms, and have a good time in Vegas. And his money goes a lot longer.
One of the things we talk about on this channel is exactly what you just said, right? A lot of people have this idea when I say, why don't you just move? Oh, my job pays too much. Does your job pay you enough to own a house? No, then it doesn't pay enough, right? Like, I know that's a reality check people don't want to hear.
They don't want to hear that. But the other thing is, he actually understands that his income is actually going to go down just a little bit. But it's still going to take give him a lot more
Yeah.
because he doesn't pay the California taxes, the state income tax there. The real estate taxes in Vegas are far less.
Yeah.
Everything is less expensive. So he's actually getting a little bit of a reduction in his pay. It's actually going to give him more quality of life in Las Vegas.
Yeah. It's the hardest thing for people. It's the hardest because like we define our success and our quality of life by how much money is on our paycheck, right? Okay, I'm going to use an extreme example here, right? Let's say you made $1 million at your job, $1 million, but all the groceries in your area cost $100,000. All the houses cost $10 million, right? So yeah, you made $1 million, but it was worthless. It didn't go anywhere, right? If I told you to move somewhere where you're making $500,000, but the groceries become normal priced, yeah, your salary's cut in half, but your quality of life is improving drastically.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing for people to comprehend.
Well, I'm going to give you a quick example, right? Let's say you are paying $10,000 in state income tax in California.
Sure.
$10,000 that is divided by 12. That's $850 roughly that you're paying extra living there.
Yep.
That $850 could actually go to a home in Las Vegas.
100%.
So, you got to look at the whole scenario and everything to see what makes sense for you. And there
100%.
are jobs out here in Las Vegas.
Sure.
It is growing. It is expanding. It is going gangbusters, and people love being here. Now,
Bill works dual. He has San Diego and Las Vegas.
I lived in California for 10 years, and then I moved to Las Vegas 6 years ago. I have a team in here in Las Vegas and a team in San Diego.
100%. So what we're trying to get at for you guys.
Too much glare.
Too much glare. Well, guys, we have a lighting system in here.
Turn off the light.
No. We
Okay,
can't shut it down.
Got it.
Don't worry about it. We can't, guys. Hey, if the glare is bothering you guys, we'll work on it. It's okay. Don't sweat it. We're gonna keep the train rolling, right? We have limited time with Bill before we film the podcast, so I want to make sure we're focusing on the information, and we can worry about the aesthetics and the glare later. Okay. So reducing your paycheck to increase your quality of life is something that we try to push to people a lot. I can't stress this enough. If your job does not pay you enough money to own a home where you live, stop telling me your job pays so well. I don't want to hear it. If your job doesn't pay you enough money to live where your job is at, your job doesn't pay enough. Okay? Now, on to down payment. Glitter Garage Designs, perfect timing. We are moving on to the second part of today's plan. Down payment. Bill, what would you say are the 3 most common down payments that you see?
3 most common down payments are really FHA, 3.5% down. I see a lot of 5% down, and then honestly, I see a lot of 20% down. And the 20% down is to basically eliminate all of mortgage insurance. But the majority right now, the average is probably between 3.5 and 7.
Let me see if I can center this. I'm a genius.
You are good.
I'm a genius. Look at that. Those 5th grade typing classes are coming back handy right now. Okay, guys, these are the 3 most common down payments that Bill is seeing right now. And I want to start at the bottom at 20% down, because a lot of you guys think that this is mandatory, and it is not. Okay, 20% down is for people buying investment properties because they want to eliminate PMI as quickly as possible, because the lower that their mortgage is, the more quickly they can rent it out and make a profit. Okay, PMI is not something that you guys need to panic and worry about.
It's helpful.
It's literally, you guys think PMI is like $500. PMI is typically between 100 and 150 bucks, depending on your loan. It's not something that's going to change your mortgage drastically. The reason people put down 20% is because they're going to rent the house out. So the lower that they can make the mortgage, the more cash flow they can make when they rent the house out. 20% is not mandatory. It's not something that you need to focus on.
And I would say the 99% that do 20% down have an existing home that they've sold and they've rolled it into their new home.
Yep. What is
So-
PMI, Bill?
PMI is private mortgage insurance. It is on every loan that is less than a 20% down payment.
And why would you say, in your expert opinion, does PMI exist? What is the point of PMI?
PMI actually helps buyers buy a home.
Mhm.
It's basically trying to offset some of the risk to the lender for a little bit lower down payment. So it's actually helpful for you to get into a home, and then as your home grows and appreciates, you can actually eliminate private mortgage insurance.
Yep. Bill, I bring Bill on because he's smart and he's professional, and he has to tell you guys things in professional ways. Okay, I'm gonna tell it to you in the hood version of this. No one is gonna loan your ass $500,000 without a safety net on their money. I'm gonna repeat this again. No one's gonna loan you $500,000 without a safety net on their money. So if they remove PMI, there's no way you guys would be able to do 3% and 5% down payment.
It's basically monies that you're paying to the mortgage insurance company so that the lender feels like you are putting 20% down. So it's basically trying to make up that difference. But it allows you to get into the home, leverage that basically investment, the real estate, so that you can grow your equity. Because I know you talk a lot about equity.
Yeah. Someone said, can't you put down 15% and roll the other 5% into your mortgage to avoid PMI?
That doesn't make sense.
No, Dustin.
15%, basically what ends up happening is if you put 15% down, you will still have mortgage insurance, but it'll be at a much lower amount.
Yeah. Dustin, if you have 15%, you have 20%. Like, I'm just being real. There's not many people on earth putting down 15%. If you have enough money for 15% down, you probably have enough money for 20% down. Just put down 20%. Right? Brandon, I'm in a home that I finally pulled the trigger on and stopped being a renter. Thank you. Oh,
Bam!
You are the 77th person who has told me that. I have been teaching this class for 4 years now. You are the 77th person who has told me that because of this class that they pulled the trigger, they bought a home, and they stopped renting. So thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that. That's the motivation that keeps me waking up in the morning and doing this every single day, despite how many crazy people tell me I'm an idiot every time I do this. Son, is there a way to get a home without traditional loaning? Yes, there is creative finance, but that's not usually what we cover here in Real Estate 101. Now, son, I did give you Bill's number yesterday because you said you were looking in Louisiana and another state. And I gave you Bill's number. Son, if you contact Bill, he will go over all of the loans and options for you. I gave you his number. Yeah, this is Bill. I gave you his number yesterday. If you call him, he will go over all of your options directly, okay? My journey will take a couple years. Guys, Bill, can you tell them that not every client we work with is ready today?
They're not all ready today. And that's great. As long as you're on that journey and you feel it and you can do it, make it happen. Get that goal in there. Figure out, actually get a game plan on what you need to do. And if you think you're kind of DIYing it, doing it yourself, I'm getting prepared, I'm paying off debt, get with me. I'll tell you, let's get a game plan together so that you can understand how you can buy a house in the near future.
Yeah. You guys have two big problems. One, you guys are convinced that you have to do everything that yourself because you guys think you're smarter than everybody else. You're not. If you were that smart, you wouldn't be in this position in the first place. Okay? So the first thing a lot of people need is an ego check. If you were as smart as you thought you were, if Google had all the information, why are you in the position that you're in right now? Right? It's because you need a little bit of help. So me and Bill are both free. Bill will help you. If you call him, you don't have to pay him. There's no credit card info to work with Bill. If you're a year away, 6 months away, reach out to Bill. Have someone who helps guide you in the process. A lot of you guys are running out there paying off medical bills, thinking it's going to help. Bill, does paying off medical bills matter for you? No. So you run out there and spend $5,000 paying off medical bills, And then Bill tells you, hey, guess what? It doesn't do anything for you. We don't care, right? You could have saved that $5,000 and paid off a credit card, paid off some student loans. You could have paid off something that actually matters. This is why I tell you guys to call Bill. If you're ready now, if you're ready a year from now, call Bill, right?
Can I just share something real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. This person right here, if you can see her, I just spoke to her 2 days ago. She lives in Georgia. She's trying to buy a home. She basically, there's her down. Anyways,
Bear down.
her down. Anyways, she cannot buy a home right now, but I'll tell you what, this will be on my social. Go to my social and listen to her comment in regards to basically having the game plan set for her so she knows how to get there.
100%.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, Bill, before we get out of here,
Yes.
right? We've covered FHA loans. We've covered typical down payment, right? If the FHA loan is the best loan
Yes.
right now,
Yep.
right? And it's, what you say, 0.75% cheaper than conventional,
Just about. Yep.
okay? And you can refinance it in the future,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
What do you believe is holding people back, even though there's a loan out there that's so easy to qualify for?
I call it the three-legged stool, and it's CIA, credit income assets. Sometimes their credit needs to be repaired. Sometimes they just don't make enough income at the moment. Sometimes they just don't have enough money for the down payment. And it's trying to get those three things to line up to get a mortgage. But the biggest thing is fear.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is they do not want to talk to somebody because they feel like they're going to be embarrassed, that they don't have it all together.
Yep.
They don't have, I'm going to say it. They don't have their shit together.
Yep.
Nobody has everything together. And so it's just a matter of just understanding that someone like Brandon, myself, can help you understand. We have empathy. We understand not everybody is perfect. And it's just trying to figure out what you need to do to actually get into a home. And so it's fear. The biggest thing is pick up the phone, make a call, get a time to visit and understand what your situation is now. And it doesn't cost you anything.
It's free. I know why you guys don't look at your bank statements.
You don't
I
want
know.
to.
You don't want to know where your money's going. I know. Hey, guys, listen. You think it's a secret. You think you're the only person who does this. There's billions of you, okay? Billions who don't look at their bank statements because they don't want to know how much they're spending. You think you have disposable income. You don't. You don't. If you're currently renting a house, you don't have disposable income. That's your down payment that you're spending. Going to the club, traveling, drinking every weekend, you're spending your down payment. You think you have disposable income, you don't. And you have time for a quick story? It relates to, okay. As I was driving here, a woman from New York called me. And she said, Brandon, I've been putting off buying a home because renting seems so much cheaper than a mortgage. They just raised my rent to $3,000. What can I do? And I had to tell this woman the truth, guys. Once your rent is already too expensive, once your rent is unaffordable, that's when it's too late. Do you understand? You were renting because it was affordable. Once your rent becomes unaffordable, what do you think a mortgage is? Do you think the mortgage is going to be cheaper? Stop waiting for the rent to become unaffordable before you decide you need to own a home. Because by then you're trapped. They've trapped you in a rent that you can't afford. And the only way for you to move past it is to move back in lifestyle, which a lot of you aren't willing to do. A lot of you aren't willing to go from a $2,200 apartment back to a $1,500 apartment. A lot of you aren't willing to do that. So stop waiting until the rent is unaffordable before you get the courage to make a move. Stop waiting until it's too late to make a decision. All right? Bill is free. I'm going to put his info on the board right now. Okay? A lot of you already realize your rent has become unaffordable. You know it and I know it. You started off at $1,500 and now it's $1,900. and next year it's going to be $2,000, right? You know your rent is unaffordable. Bill, let's give it to him. What's the number?
858-776-6830.
Can they have an email?
Email, just go to billgaylord.com. And you can contact me there. My calendar's on there. It's super easy. You just hit schedule and you pick the time. I have some evening times. I have some weekend times. So it's kind of up to you as to try and make it be available when you're ready. So and it's fine. I love doing it. It's fun for me. I've got a lot of wisdom up here, so I want to share it with you.
He's got a lot of brains in that head, man. He took out the hair and put more brains.
Yeah,
that's what he did. He took his hair.
Took this piece off and I put some.
LOL. He wants you to be house poor. Now this person's a troll, Bill. It's your first time here. Let me show you how we handle trolls. Okay. So that person thinks that they're going to disrupt class and they think that they're going to say something that's knowledgeable. He wants you to be house poor. I would rather you be house poor than rent poor, because at least your landlord can't tell you what to do. Do you see the difference? No matter what you say to try to shut the class down, we have a better response. I would rather you be house poor than rent poor, because at least when you're house poor, there's no landlord who can tell you and your kids that they have to move.
And if you're house poor in the beginning, you won't be house poor in the end.
100%.
So
you won't be house poor. Yep.
If you're rent poor now, you're going to be super rent poor a few years from now.
If you're house poor a year from now, you can no longer be house poor. If you're rent poor for the rest of your life. That's the difference, people.
Can we answer a couple of questions?
Yeah, go nuts.
So if I have enough to put 20% down, should I put that to avoid PMI or do FHA and invest in difference? I would look at it side by side. I think if you have 20% down and you don't care that you have reserves, I'm always a big guy, have reserves after, because you never know what's going to save for a rainy day kind of thing. But I would look at both things. If you do have 20% down and you can afford to spend it, probably go 20% down. Yep. FHA, and if you did put, you wouldn't want to go FHA if you had 10% or more. You'd want to go conventional.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you, Bill. If you have the money, now I sit here and tell you guys not to put 20% down because most of you can't afford it. But if you have the money, if you have the income, if you have the assets and the savings to put down 10% or 20%, put that money down. The thing is, I don't want you guys saving for 6 years trying to get to 20%, because then by the time you save that money, the price of the house is probably already superseded what you saved for, right? But if you have the money right now, put the money down right now. Can you say affirmatively that election cycle won't put current buyers upside down? Markness, you ask me this every time. We don't have a crystal ball, Mark. We can't sit here and tell you yes or no. What we can tell you is the history of elections means whoever's the current president can get easy votes by lowering the interest rate and making sure more people get into homes. All we're using is the history. Look at Bill. How many elections do you think Bill has seen?
A lot.
A lot. So he knows what happens during election season. We don't need a crystal ball. We're telling you from experience, when election season rolls around, presidential candidates, this happens. Okay?
Yeah. Can I do one more thing?
Go nuts.
Okay. I'm going to do a calculation just so you know what's going on.
Yep.
A lot of people started looking at homes last year when they were around 8%. Rates peaked in October at 8%.
Yeah.
We're like, it's unaffordable now. So if you were to get a mortgage at $400,000 last October at 8% over 30 years, the payment would be $2,935.
Yep.
Now, if, however, because rates came down on an FHA loan down to a little bit over 6, say 6.1%, guess what? That same loan amount, you can get $484,000.
This is why I bring lenders on the channel.
So you got to understand that markets change. Now, Brandon,
since October, have values of homes gone from 400,000 to 484,000? No, they're kind of still, people are still thinking rates are way too high,
Yep.
rates are way too high.
Yep.
But guess what? As that message gets out there,
Yep.
right, you're going to have more and more people get into the marketplace, and that value from 400,000 is going to creep up. It may not get to 484, but you can buy something now.
Yep.
It's a more affordable.
100%.
And even if you bought 400,000, at that, the payment would be now $24.23 instead of $29.30, $500 less.
That's why I bring mortgage lenders on the channel, because they can give you guys exact numbers, right? He has the numbers. He can give you guys the exact numbers of what you're saving and what you're losing. Mark Ness, I do this with you once a week, Mark. Mark, I love you to death. Mark, I love you to death, but you're the definition of a scared investor. And you're my least favorite investor to work with because your panic meter is so high. And I have to constantly reassure you, Mark. But Mark, you're my dude. You've been rocking with me for months now, so I'll do it for you, okay? Mark, how many houses in America are upside down? It's such a small percentage, we don't even notate it. You're worried about something so small.
It's so, I've
So
been around a long
small.
time. You were talking to me about 2008 versus
Yeah.
now. The biggest issue right now is, will values kind of maybe dip a little bit? They could dip a little bit. Is it going to crash? There's just not enough homes for people. It's simple as that. And the builders just can't build fast enough
No.
to keep up with population.
Yeah.
Population has gone up 35 million
Yeah.
since 2008.
Yes.
And they have not built anywhere near
Realtors
35 million.
Realtors always say it's the perfect time to buy. Maybe we're right. Maybe we're giving you, like, why do you guys do that? Okay, listen. When you guys say that, I want you to know how dumb it sounds when we translate that to any other job. Your banker always says it's a good time to save money. Is he wrong? Oh, my banker just wants me to give him my money. Yeah, because it's always a good time to save money. Your realtor tells you it's a good time to buy a house because rent isn't getting cheaper. Mark Ness, I can't guarantee you that you're going to make $1 million on your house, but I can guarantee you that your rent is going to get more expensive. That's why we tell you guys to buy homes. We can't guarantee that you make $1 million in equity. I can guarantee that your rent will keep going up. You see the difference? You're afraid of something that's so small and minute, we don't measure it. But you're willing to accept that rent is guaranteed and you're not afraid of that. That's what's crazy to me. Rent is guaranteed to go up and you guys aren't afraid of that, but you're afraid of this small infinitesimal chance that you go underwater on a home. That's nuts to me. You're afraid of the wrong thing. Be afraid of rent. Stop being afraid of ownership.
So there was one that came in that said, I pay $1,000 a month for a 3-bed, 2-bath.
Great.
Keep it.
How much equity are you making on that rental property?
Well, my opinion is, if you're doing that, then take the monies that you would normally be paying, right, for a mortgage and put that in savings.
Yeah.
And put that in savings.
Yep.
That way you can put a down payment on.
Yep.
And then eventually, when that particular home gets to the point where the seller sells it, and you're like, oh my God, I got to go to 4,000 in rent.
Yep.
You've got enough money that you can actually buy a home.
Yep.
Personally, I'd save, understand that, usually $1,000 is not going to last forever. Somebody is going to die. Somebody's going to sell their house. It's going to happen, and somebody's going to need money.
Then what are you going to do?
That $1,000 is not going to be for life.
Yeah.
So take it as long as you can, in my opinion. You're going to say goodbye and save money. And if you can buy, I would buy sooner rather than later.
How do you feel about people not being able to account for drastically increasing cost of utilities? The drastically increasing cost of your utilities is factored into rent as well. You guys okay, listen. If we lived in a world where renting was cheap, I would say, yeah, I get it. Keep renting. You're living in the worst rental market in U.S. history. Rents are extreme. Rents have gone up at a higher rate than the cost of your mortgage has. And that's what always makes me so angry is you guys aren't afraid of rent. You guys hold houses to these crazy standards, but completely ignore the fact that rent is way more out of control. You think utilities are just more expensive for homeowners? It's factored into your rental price as well. Why do you pretend like this isn't true? Why do you do this? It's insanity. It's because you're scared. And when you're scared, you do illogical things. You focus on utilities for owning a home, but you don't focus on utilities when you're renting. It's the same thing. The only difference is, and Bill just touched on it, you have $1,000 rental right now and you're super happy. Great, you're paying $1,000. What happens when that person decides to sell the house because they're the landlord and they can sell anytime they want to? Uh-oh, now you got to find a rental at a market rate. Now you go from $1,000 to $1,900. Uh-oh, I hope you saved. I hope you prepared, right?
I want to say another thing.
Go ahead.
So here's my thing. What I'm seeing a lot of is people that are buying as families, people that are combining together as friends, buying a home so that they can get into a home. And potentially what they can do is if they live in there together as roommates, as family, over time, maybe 3 to 5 years, they could potentially sell that home, take the equity and separate it, and then buy a different house for them separately.
Yep.
So a lot of people are combining income. I had a client yesterday, self-employed, and she goes, gosh, I can't buy a home. I don't have enough income right now. How am I going to buy a home? I said, have you thought about a non-occupant co-borrower? What's that? Well, if you had a family member or a friend that would help you co-sign and they're willing to do it,
Yep.
you could potentially even do a shared agreement with
Yep.
them where they share in the equity.
We have a loan
So
right now, don't we, with 4 people on it?
4 people.
Yeah.
4 people. It happens.
Yep.
It's a family, and they're all moving in together. It's
Yep.
kind of a next gen type situation, and that happens all the time. So
Yep.
sometimes if your income isn't big enough, find somebody else who would go in on it with you, or a
100%.
co-signer that might be able to say, well, yeah, that's great, I'll do it. So it's just trying to think outside of the box, being creative,
Well,
and
hold
just
on.
trying to figure
4
out your own
people
thing.
have to. No, 4 people don't have to. 4 people choose to because it allows them to get a bigger, more expensive home. So instead of them both getting a $350,000 or $400,000 home, they bought the home together, and now they're going to get a $650,000 home. Do you see? The $650,000 home is going to gain equity at a higher rate than the 2 homes that they could have bought separately. See, you guys got to start thinking long term. You guys got to start thinking long term. It's not that they have to buy, it's that it makes more financial sense for them to buy it together because co-borrowers can boost your debt to income ratio.
100%. The borrower would have only afforded maybe 350, 400,000, but combining with family, they get 650.
Yeah.
They get 650, and they have separate quarters for parents and them, and they can afford a lot more, get a bigger house, a bigger lot, and it makes it easier for people to qualify. Now you got to understand that you got to live with your parents, or a family member, but you don't have to do that. It can be a co-signer.
A co-borrower does
Co-borrower.
what do you say? It's a non-occupant co-borrower.
Yes.
Your co-borrower, the person who co-signs on your loan doesn't have to live in the house with you. But that's a whole different chapter for a whole different episode. Guys, thank you for tuning in to our first Thursday episode like this. We're going to start doing this 3 times a month. So on Thursdays, Bill is going to join me at 10 a.m. So save all your guys' loan questions. If you guys want to go over SCR loans, if you guys want to go over rehab loans, if you guys
USDA loans,
USDA loans, VA loans, if you guys want to go through all the types of loans, Bill is here for you. Every single Thursday, we're going to go over loans. We're going to go over mortgages. We're going to do buyer consultations for you, the whole thing. Okay? Damn, Bill. Oh, we're going to film the podcast now.
Podcast.
Guys,
We're live right now.
Guys, let me flip the camera around so you guys can see what we're about to do next. Let me show you guys. Okay? So that is our studio right there. The second that I get off live, we are going to film our podcast right there. Look. That's you guys watching us as we watch you guys, right? Look, this is like this is Inception shit right here. We are like watching you while you watch us watch you. We are going to hop on and do the YouTube podcast after this, you guys. So if you're not following us on YouTube, make sure you guys jump onto our YouTube live channel at Brandon from Vegas. We're going to do our real estate podcast that we do every Thursday. You guys can watch us live. So head over to the Brandon from Vegas YouTube, hit that subscribe button, jump on the live channel. Me and Bill are going to go live. We're going to do our podcast. You guys are free to join us. Let me flip the camera right back around. That's Robert.
Yay, Robert.
Yay, Robert. Hey, that's us again. All right. There we go. I have a large head, Bill, so it's hard for me to get all of us in here, you know?
Squeeze in here.
Gotta squeeze in here like that, right? Hey guys, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. If this is your first time here, I do a live class every day at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Was this recorded, Brandon? Yes, this one's gonna go up on the YouTube as well. This was a really good episode.
It's live now.
Yeah, we are live on YouTube as we speak. So I will be posting this on YouTube from my Brandon from Vegas channel. Hold on, let me fix this real quick. The screen has to be straight. People get like they lose their mind.
Take it all, man.
They get, dude. You don't understand how mad people get when the screen isn't like perfectly straight. Like
Okay.
the smallest little inconsistency drives them into a fury. But yeah, thank you guys for doing this. Everybody who kept liking and sharing, we're up to about 5,000 little likes, which I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for doing that. If you guys aren't following me, do like Caden Rhymes did and just hit that follow button. We do this live every day at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's 1 p.m. Eastern and 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock Central, right?
Yep.
Mountain, yeah, Central.
Yep.
If you're in Hawaii, then you're watching this at like
2
7 in the
hours.
morning. Yes. So if
It's
you're
like